Minasan, konnichiwa, watashi wa Rani Sensei desu, and welcome to Rani no Kyoshitsu. Nihongo, benkyou shimashou. Do you love anime or Japanese drama? Ever dreamed of traveling in Japan? How about working there? Perhaps living there? I bet you do, and it must have crossed your mind to learn how to speak their native language. Here in my class, I'm gonna teach you Nihongo definitely for free. じゃあ、始めましょう. In Japan, they have three types of script: hiragana, katakana, kanji. Hiragana and katakana are phonetic symbols purely representing sounds, while kanji are ideographs or something that symbolizes an idea or conveying meanings as well as sounds. Japanese is usually written with a combination of hiragana, katakana, and kanji. For example, Tanaka-san wa Mira-san to depato ni iku. Katakana is used to write foreign names and loanwords. In this example, Mira is a foreign name which is Miller, and depato is a loanword which means department store. It will be discussed further in our future lessons. It is very important not just to familiarize but to memorize this before studying Japanese vocabularies and grammar. Their language is based on 5 vowel sounds, a, I, U, E, O, which are either used alone or attached to a consonant. The last 2 vowel sounds are read softly. Let's move on to our lessons part 1. These are the vocabularies that we're going to use for today's grammar lesson. Our first pattern is N1 or noun 1 wa, N2 or noun 2 des, N1 wa, N2 des. The particle wa indicates that the noun before it is the topic of the sentence. Also, we don't read this as desu but simply des. For example, watashi wa Rani desu. We can see that wa has no English equivalent. This is because its entire purpose is to show that watashi is the topic of this sentence. There is no English equivalent because, in English, word order alone is enough to determine the subject of a sentence. Another example is watashi wa sensei desu. Now, try to introduce yourself by simply saying your name using our first pattern. Your answer should go like this: watashi wa, your name, desu. Also, if I have introduced myself as a teacher, which is watashi wa sensei desu, try to introduce yourself as a student. Student in Nihongo is gakusei. Gakusei. Your answer should go like this: watashi wa gakusei desu. Let's move on to our second pattern for this lesson. N1 wa, N2 ja or de wa ja arimasen. N1 wa, N2 ja arimasen. This is just the negative form of our first pattern. Des is affirmative and ja arimasen is negative. I am not a student. We just say, Watashi wa gakusei ja arimasen. You can see here that des is just changed to ja arimasen because we want to say the negative form. You can also notice that there is no Japanese equivalent for a or a. The articles a, an, and the simply do not exist in Japanese. I'm going to give affirmative sentences. You change it to its negative form. Watashi wa kaishain desu. Watashi wa kaishain ja arimasen. Watashi wa issha desu. Watashi wa issha ja arimasen. Watashi wa sensei desu. Watashi wa sensei ja arimasen. For our next pattern, let us learn how to make questions. The first type of question is asking whether the statement is correct or not. If you can remember, our first pattern was N1 wa, N2 desu. We make this a question by simply adding particle ka at the end of the sentence. N1 wa, N2 desu ka. In Japanese, once you use the particle ka for questions, the usage of question mark in a written form is no longer necessary. Questions are pronounced with a rising intonation. For example, Anata wa gakusei desu ka? The answer for this will either be yes or no. Here's how you can answer it. For affirmation, you can say, Hai, gakusei desu. For a negative answer, you can say, Iie, gakusei ja arimasen. You can also take note that the subjects are often opt out if it is already obvious in your sentence or if the both of you is aware of the subject. Another example is, Anata wa Nihonjin desu ka? Hai, Nihonjin desu. Iie, Nihonjin ja arimasen. The other type of question is with interrogatives. An interrogative replaces the part of the sentence that states what the speaker wants to ask about. The word order does not change. Tatoe ba? Ano kata wa donata desu ka? To answer that, we just need to change the interrogative donata or who. Ano kata wa mira-san desu? We can also answer by just saying mira-san desu. Let's move on to our next topic. Noun mo. This is a particle that means also, to, or as well. It is used when the same thing applies as what was stated previously. Tatoe ba? Mira-san wa kaishain desu. Gupta-san mo kaishain desu. You can notice that on the second sentence, particle mo substitutes the particle wa. Another example is, Watanabe-san wa Nihonjin desu. Suzuki-san mo Nihonjin desu. N1 no N2. Particle no is used when N1 modifies N2. In this lesson, N2 belongs to N1, which represents an organization or some kind of a group. Tatoe ba? Mira-san wa IMC no shain desu. In this example, IMC is a company and shain is employee. IMC is trying to modify the second noun or N2 which is shein or employee. Another example is Wato-san wa Sakura de Gaku no sensei desu. Lastly, we're going to talk about their honorifics. San. It is a title of respect added to a name. It can be used with both male and female names. Chan. It is added to small children's name instead of san to indicate familiarity. It can also be attached to kinship terms in a childish language. Lastly is kun. It is less polite than san. It is used to address men who are younger or the same age as the speaker. Also take note, anata is used to address someone with whom one is very familiar with, such as one's husband, wife, romantic partner, or etc. It can sound impolite if used to someone not familiar with you. That's all for today's lesson. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to hit the notification button to be updated for our next lesson. See you on our next lesson.